Sarah Jacobs here. Today we're talking about a hot topic, and that's the logistics of child custody exchanges. If you're a parent and you're separated, divorced, divorcing, or even just thinking about it, the issue of custody and parenting time must weigh heavy on your mind. And of course, you're thinking about what schedule and how you're going to split the holidays, but the devil is in the details. And today we're talking about the details. Let's start with something that's probably obvious but feels overwhelming. The schedule that you and your co-parent are putting in place now works for you today, but really, it should also act as guidelines for things to come in the future. So it's really important that the agreement that you're drafting and the details you put in place take time, attention, and care. Let's start with the premise that everything changes. The schedule that you're building now should be realistic for where you and your co-parent and your children are at this moment in time, but also forward-facing to cover a lot of those what-if scenarios. What if one of you remarries? What if one of you moves out of state? What happens if your children change activities and have different childcare responsibilities? While none of the lawyers or you or your co-parent have a crystal ball, you can think about what realistic changes might take place in the next couple of years and build layers into your agreement so that you can take care of those guideposts while keeping good, strong, healthy, and stable boundaries in place for your family. Let's get granular. Let's talk about times, responsibility, and location. This is really important if there's a high conflict family, you and your co-parent have difficulty communicating, or there's a little bit of ambiguity in the schedule that you're building. So what can you do? A good custody and parenting time agreement will talk about how you share the time and maybe when those drop off and pick up times start and end. But a great custody and parenting time agreement will talk about where the exchanges take place, what happens if one of you is late, how long you need to wait, how you need to change those locations based on holidays or regular parenting time, and all of the things that you're thinking about when you think about what do I do next. Let's go back to the issue of location. This can range widely depending on the specific needs and circumstances of your family. If you have a great co-parenting relationship, you're probably picking up and dropping off at each other's residences. If there's a domestic violence restraining order in place or things are really not compatible, you may be doing it at a neutral locations like a Starbucks, or in some extreme cases, the police station. You should really be picking a location based on the needs of your children too. What are their ages? Where do they need to be picked up and dropped off? Can it be done at school or camp? Does it need to be parent to parent? Can a third party help you with these exchanges? You should also be thinking about practical solutions. Are there snacks at the location you're picking? Is there somewhere to wait if one of you is late? Are there public restrooms? Is there a location if there's bad weather and you can take shelter? The good news is that an attorney who's experienced in family law has built a lot of agreements just like these with nuanced details for each of their clients. Another key focus in a really great custody and parenting time agreement is defining who does what and when. Who's doing the transportation from one house to the other? Is it the parent whose parenting time is ending? Is it the parent whose parenting time is starting? If you're meeting at a neutral location, how long do you have to wait there for the other parent if the parent is running late? What type of communication should you expect from the other parent in those types of circumstances? It's also really important to define the differences between what we call regular parenting time, which is the day-to-day, and holiday, vacation, or summer parenting time, where the schedule may be different and so may the activities for your children. Providing clarity on the who, what, when, where, why, and how allows you to focus on your family and your children rather on the minutia of the logistics of these exchanges. Let's talk turkey for a minute. Despite the best laid plans, you and your co-parent or your attorneys are not fortune tellers. It's your intention to abide by the agreements that you're making now, but what happens if one of you doesn't? What happens if one of you is a habitual violator? You may need to ask the court or your co-parent to modify the terms of the agreement to shore up any black holes that are there or any ambiguities that exist. But the good news is that the more detailed the agreement was to begin with, the easier it is for the court, for you, or for your attorney to craft solutions to help stop violations or to make things easier for you and your co-parent to be flexible as things change. Custody and parenting time schedules can be difficult. You need to understand exactly what type of layer, granular or high level, works for you and your family. If you're overwhelmed by those options, the good news is we've been crafting agreements like this with the right level of detail for each of our clients for years. We have templates that we can provide, suggestions we can give you, and we know just how to tweak the language to make it specific to you to make it work. If you need help sorting through the different layers, we're here to help. We look forward to talking with you.